Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a flick with me? Famous scenes with drama queens and heroes acting out there on a silver screen. Come grab a seat, popcorn is on me.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Hey there, welcome to Meet Me at the Movies. I am Noel T. Manning II. I have not been knighted, so I cannot officially call myself Sir Noel T. Manning II. But if I could, dang it, I would. And also, if I had a sword with me, I would knight our guest, Douglas Davidson. I would call him Sir Douglas Davidson. I got to tell you, Greg Tillman, you remember Greg? He was the former general manager here at C19 TV. And what he told me one time, I don't know if I've ever told you this. He said, Douglas is the best co-host you've ever had. And that's even on top of Thomas. And he said, and Noel, if you happen to die, do you think Douglas would take over? And I'm like, well, that's kind of morbid, but yeah, I think you could ask him. And he said, okay. And then I found out like 2 weeks later, there was this guy, strange person following me everywhere I went. And I got a little paranoid, found out it was a hitman. And so anyway, just to let you know, there was somebody, gunning for me and hoping that you could step up and be the host of Meet Me at the Movie. So always good to have you, Douglas.
It's always a delight to be here. There's always some new drama going on, but you can't talk about movies without a little bit of drama. So I guess it works.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you, man, I know you covered South by Southwest, which, what were the dates that happened? That was a little while ago.
Oh, goodness gracious. Now you're asking me to do math. It was about mid-March. Unfortunately,
Okay.
The dates have slipped my brain.
Gotcha. So last month you were covering South by Southwest, and I think I reached out to you before that and said, "Hey, I'd love for you to come on the show and talk about it." And now that you kind of officially wrapped that coverage from your standpoint, and I know you're still getting some work out there from some of your cohorts. So tell me a little bit about your coverage, and of course the others from Elements of Madness that got a chance to be a part of this festival.
Yeah, I was delighted. This was, I think, my 5th year covering South by Southwest, and Elements of Madness covering the festival for the 6th time, which is really wonderful. The festival always has a wonderful mix of genre, documentary, drama, narrative, anything you could want. Some of them are premiering for the first time, having the world premiere. Some are regional, some are just for the US. But there's always a wonderful mix, and personally, I always end up finding a couple of favorites that linger with me through the rest of the year. And this year I was joined by AJ Fryer and Justin Waldman. The three of us, I think, covered just under 30 films. Most of our reviews are available at elementsofmadness.com. I only screened 11 of them. And yes, I still have some coverage coming. But the ones I'm going to mention today are certainly ones I think folks should keep an eye out for. They moved me in surprising ways, and I think audiences would benefit from getting to experience them too.
Excellent. Elementsofmadness.com is where you can find all of the coverage that Douglas has. And he's got a tremendous website and a tremendous amount of people behind the scenes that are helping to fill a role that Douglas himself did solo for a while. And so it's I just appreciate what you're doing and what you continue to do with that site, and offering opportunities for those of us that love movies to not just engage in what you do, but also to participate and see what others are doing as well. So thanks for what you do, man.
I believe I just started recently watching Shoresy and the Hulu show from Canada. And there's a line in it from, I think, the 2nd season, success, and I'm probably going to butcher this, success only really matters if you have someone to share it with.
When we began everything, Crystal, who's my wife, she's the editor for the site. She edits everything. And being able to slowly add people that, like us, love movies and love exploring films where it doesn't have to be a major release. It can be something that has no distribution at all and is just looking for coverage. It's really wonderful to be going on this journey with others who love film like we do. And in fact, the first film I want to make sure folks know about is a film called Eddie Arnold is a Loser. Me too. Me too.
So is it Edie or Eddie?
It's Edie.
Edie.
But I had to keep going because I too am a loser and I understand it entirely. This was written by Megan Rico, co-directed by her and Kate Atwood. This film is absolutely remarkable. It is a teen coming of age story with music. The music is punk rock. The visual elements have the energetic power of an Edgar Wright movie. It's honest, it's emotional, but more importantly, when you think it's going to follow the well-worn path of a teen comedy trope, it shifts directions. And to me, that's really wonderful because it suggests that the writers themselves, the filmmakers, they understand that audiences already know the language of a coming-of-age story. So let's play with it. Let's have some fun. Let's focus on the stuff that really matters for this story rather than doing all the stuff people have seen before. And the premise of the film is that Edie she's a young woman, student at a Catholic school. She's in the band playing the piano, and her best friend plays the organ. Her best friend plays the organ. Edie plays the drums. The two of them end up sneaking out to a punk show at a band venue that nobody can pronounce properly, which I guess makes sense because I'm tripping over my words. And so, just going with the vibe of the film. And while they're there, circumstances happen where Edie gets on stage, and it turns out she is amazing in front of this group. And so she and her best friend decide to form a band with their buddies. So if you like films like Sing Street, if you like films like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, where music is as important to the story as the character arcs, then you are going to want to see this film. Last checked, it does not have any distribution. People need to see this. I hope it gets picked up soon and quickly. I think it's really going to resonate with folks. I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite films of this year. But based on your scoring, I believe it would be an A+.
Oh, wow. Wow.
The majority of films, and again, I saw 11 of them, and some of them were really good and some of them were really moving. But the ones I'm going to mention today are the ones that really stuck out to me for the imaginative ways, is the best way to put it, that they tell their stories.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add about that before I tag on to it?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Well, you sold me in a lot of different areas for me wanting to watch this film. One, being able to call it either Edie or Eddie, and you can kind of decide that. Plus, you're talking about Edgar Wright, the sensibilities of Edgar Wright. And then also, I'm always drawn to films like Sing Street and so many others that have music infused within that story, and kind of these reluctant musicians and people that find their way, becoming musicians. Sing Street, one of my all-time favorites. Mm-hmm. So I'm very excited about this. And also, I want to make sure that I mention to our viewers and those that are listening out there and engaging with us, a lot of these film festivals, we may not be able to have trailers for quite yet because distributors haven't picked them up. So in this show today, you're not going to see as many trailers as you normally would for that reason. But I wanted to make sure I kind of gave that disclaimer because anybody watching this show knows that we pile on a lot of trailers when we can. So that is one of the reasons why. And we've done this before whenever we've had TIFF. Sometimes films at TIFF that we cover do not have distributors, and so trailers may be limited. So just want to let our listeners know that. So A+ for Edie Arnold is a loser, and so is Douglas.
Parentheses. That's the hidden part. We say that part quietly in the title, but yes, I would agree.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing that, man. And the next one, you gave me one. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this one because I know I would butcher this. If I tried it from back home in Eastern North Carolina go, Champion Gabacacho. And so that would be the way I'd pronounce that film, but I think that's incorrect.
It is incorrect, though. One of the characters would probably say it exactly like that, which is pretty great. If I'm pronouncing it correctly, because I have not heard it pronounced, unfortunately, is Campion Gabacho. I haven't heard it pronounced myself, but if I remember correctly, the way that I've been hearing it, because they don't say it in the movie, is Campion Gabacho, which is by Jonas Curion. He wrote and directed this. It's actually an adaptation of a book that came out called The Gringo Champion. And it tells the story of a migrant from Mexico who comes to the U.S. and through the experience, how he makes mistakes, how he has some successes, develops relationships and not. For a lot of folks, just hearing that description, it may not sound particularly interesting, but it's the way in which this film is executed. It's structured, it's organized, technically, and from a performance perspective, it is one of the most moving films I've seen this year. And the reason is so much of it is shot like a stage play.
Mm.
Now, when I say that, Leslie Grace is in this movie. She was supposed to be Batgirl, but she was also in the movie In the Heights, the adaptation of the Lin-Manuel Miranda play. And so when I say it's shot like a play, I don't want you to think of something like In the Heights, where you're in real environments and you see people singing and dancing and engaging. This is more like, while the environments are very much real, they're shot in such a way that you feel like the characters are moving around on a stage. And it gives what you're watching this sort of heightened experience, particularly when our lead, Labarrio, he ends up talking to us, where time will actually slow down. He'll be in the middle of a fist fight, and all of a sudden he'll stop. Fist will be moving slowly. He'll turn and talk to us and then go back to the fight.
Wow.
And so through that, there is this magic, there is this whimsy, but there is also pain and wonder with the complexity of what it means, particularly right now, to live in the United States. And this film, the book was written a number of years ago, but it still feels very of right now. Mm-hmm. And that while this is a migrant experience, it's also telling a immigrant experience.
Wow.
And so I unfortunately, there was some stop and go issues with the movie when I was first watching it because of an issue with my youngest. So I ended up starting it over and watching it the next day from beginning to end. And it is still as mesmerizing whether you know what's going on or not.
Wow.
So I highly recommend seeking this one out. And again, with your grading, I would give it an A+.
Awesome. And the director is the son of an Oscar winner, correct?
Yes. He is the son of Roma's Alfonso Cuarón, who I believe he also produced this, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
But this is not the first project that Jonas has done. So this isn't a debut where some other filmmakers at this festival are having theirs. This is just his latest project, and it's a heck of one. There is a website for it. It's just got some information on cast and crew. A wonderful mural that makes up part of the beginning style of the film. But it is wonderful. It is absolutely wonderful, and I can't speak more highly of it.
Awesome. We are talking with Douglas Davidson right here on Meet Me at the Movies today with a spotlight on South by Southwest. Douglas, this is your Elements of Madness 6 trip, I think you said, and your fifth time yourself covering the event along with a couple of others. And so we encourage people to check out that full coverage and some still coming, elementsofmadness.com. Just search for South by Southwest 2026, and I know you will find it there. If you can't find it for that, then there's some kind of search engine issue. So stick around, guys. We got much more to come right after this intermission with Douglas Davidson, Noel T. Manning II. Stick around.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a flick?
We always have had
That's
a
true.
certain courtesy to other people upon their retirement or somebody's passing.
I got something nice to say about our retirement.
Well, we're not.
Good riddance.
Oh, was it you?
First, he put giant flagpoles on the White House lawn like it was a Buc-ee's, and then he cemented over the Rose Garden. Then he turned the Oval Office into a place that looks like a New Orleans cat house.
Well, I'm sure President Obama evaluated both candidates and went with the best one, better one.
Yeah, one of
But
them
I
had a D
was-
by her name.
One cannot help but wonder why. Betsy, one possibility would be that the Hurricanes are now afraid to enter the newly named Gulf of America while Trump's in the White House.
Want to stay connected to everything happening at Cleveland Community College? C19's monthly show, In the Loop, brings you the stories, updates, and the highlights that matter most right from campus. From program spotlights and upcoming events to alumni interviews and college updates, In the Loop keeps you informed and engaged. Catch home game schedules for all CCC athletics, plus fun and meaningful conversations with the Yeti along the way. Whether you're a student, employee, alumni, or supporter of CCC, this is your inside look at life on campus. Tune in monthly on C19 and stay in the loop with Cleveland Community College.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a
Hello there, Noel T. Man in the second here with, I'm going to say it, Sir Douglas Davidson. That's right. He has been knighted during the break. I sent the virtual sword, and if you look closely, you'll see a little nick on his ear there. But Sir Douglas Davidson joining us, back with us on Meet Me at the Movies by popular demand, and we appreciate that non-viewer mail. Just keep it coming. Keep it coming. Today we are talking South by Southwest. We covered a couple of films before the break, and we're going to get at least a couple more, hopefully more, right here on this side. So my mom always told me to be aware if I went out after dark. And she told me, she said, good things never happen when the sun goes down.
Especially not in the South. You stay out of the woods.
That's right.
Stay out of those woods.
That's right. So I agree with her sometimes, but I will say, yeah, sometimes I enjoy the nightlife. So I like to boogie. But let's get your thoughts on this film, Never After Dark. You like that segue?
Oh, it was great. It was beautiful. I could see what you were doing. Never After Dark is from writer-director Dave Boyle. It's a horror film, a supernatural horror film. The best way to put it is that it's more like a procedural than it is a thriller.
Okay.
Or at least it starts like one before it turns into the thriller element. And to me, that's what makes it really, truly fun. It's the story of a medium who is traveling through sort of rural areas of Japan. She gets hired by this family to come to their, what's the word I'm looking for? They bought a property. It used to be a hotel, but the owner of it thinks that there's this spectral energy and appearance of something that shows up. Would this medium come? Let them know what's going on, and if there is something there, clear it. And what's great about this is, one, With the cinematography, it gives off Shining vibes. It absolutely positively does. From the way that our lead character is driving down this windy road to get to the hotel, to the appearance of the hotel, and it's a small place. It's nothing like the Overlook, but you kind of get that energy from it. But we know from the very beginning whether or not the medium is real or not. And what's great about it is that not only do we know that, but rather than having this sort of supernatural story where a medium comes to deal with supernatural things and they've done this a million times, but they're afraid and there's this and there's that. And instead it's very casual. It's very, I'm going to go and do this. And, oh, there's a thing. Hi, thing. And it just something. And okay, it's the day at the office. I've seen this a million times. So the things that are going to unsettle us as the viewer are present. They are there. Some of the camera angles are such that we know something's going to be behind you. Wait, is it? Is it not? So there's some of those tricks playing with our expectations, but the character does not. There's not the kind of fear we would expect, which means when the shift comes and more information comes along and we really start getting into this film in the last third, and they start to be a little bit more serious, that's when we sort of buckle in, and it really helps amplify the energy of it. It is so much fun. For those of you that have ever watched an episode of Supernatural, you're gonna dig this.
Oh, yes.
And this is coming from someone that's watched all the episodes, even the ones that are a little rough around the edges. but it's that kind of thing where you watch the Winchester brothers show up at something and they're like, oh, it's another ghost. Do they get freaked out? Absolutely, because they're dealing with stuff that is supernatural. But in this instance, it's the way in which our lead deals with it. So right now it's slated for release in Japan in June, but has no American release. It is, while it did have its premiere at South by Southwest, it's still on the festival circuit. So my hope is that as it hits more festivals, more people will start talking about it. Eventually it'll get picked up. This would be perfect for someone like Shudder or even IFC, the independent film company. This would fit really well right in their catalog titles.
Awesome. The film is Never After Dark. And I was just thinking yesterday, actually, about Supernatural and how I'm hoping to find something that will kind of fill that void that I've had for a while, something new and fresh. And so I've got this on my list as well. And rating for this film?
Another A+.
Okay, excellent.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I know we've got time for at least one more, so we may have time for two, but at least one more. So what do you want to make sure you get in before we wrap?
I absolutely have to talk about a documentary called Black Zombie. If I remember correctly, this is a first-time feature. This filmmaker has worked on other things, but this is the first-time feature documentary from Maya Anik Bedward. It's a documentary that looks at the concept of the zombie, but taking it from the pop culture way that people know about it and back to its roots in Haiti.
Ooh.
So that the zombie itself actually originated as a part of voodoo culture and part of the voodoo religion in Haiti. And it was, we'll call it maladapted by members of the American press, by members of the American cultists. And then it got picked up by those folks that came to visit Haiti and brought it back and was like, ooh, be afraid of these things. And it got adapted by Hollywood and turned into these other things. In fact, this film, Black Zombie, gets its name from a 1929, I believe, released film called White Zombie, in which a white woman is put underneath control, turned into a quote-unquote zombie by a plantation owner because he saw her and was like, I want her, and made her his. And that was the first film that started to use zombies as a method of control. It wasn't about bloodlust. It wasn't about brains and gore and everything else. It was specifically about control. And this documentary not only looks at the way that the world talks about zombies, but it goes back to the ways in which it began, the way it was founded, and its specific roots in the history and politics of Haiti that are incredibly rich and complex. And I must say, for those of you that saw The Bride, there's a moment where the bride and Frank go to a movie, they're watching White Zombie. And that has got to be intentional by writer-director Maggie Gyllenhaal. She has to know the history of White Zombie and its connection to supporting racist tropes and cultural tropes that this film has with the politics of The Bride, which, so if you clocked that, if you noticed that, or if any of this sounds fascinating to you, look for Black Zombie.
Awesome. And any distribution for this yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
As far as I know, I haven't even seen it on any docket for festivals, which bums me out. But this of course happens with documentaries. It's far easier to sell a narrative story than it is a documentary story. So I'm rooting for this one. Absolutely.
Awesome. And rating for Black Zombie?
Another A+.
Another A+. Well, we do have 2 minutes, so you got 2 minutes if you want to squeeze one more in, or if you think it's worthwhile. Go for it.
I can do it. This one is worth checking out if you like your found footage horror. And Her Body Was Never Found. This was directed by Polaris Banks, written by Polaris Banks and Moore Cohen, who star in this movie. It is a husband and wife who took actual arguments from their marriage and turned it into a found footage movie in which, are they trying to kill each other? Are they out in the remote woods to make a movie, or are they actually trying to kill each other? And it turns into this beautiful escalation in this meta film. If you've seen One Cut of the Dead, where the first 30 minutes are this one shot and then the remaining hour is really getting into the movie, And Her Body Was Never Found is exactly what you want to be looking for. This film is amazing. It'll keep you on your toes. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you profoundly uncomfortable. A+.
All right. Douglas Davidson joining us to talk South by Southwest. You can find the full coverage from Douglas's team on elementsofmadness.com. And if you want to check out some bonus edition of this with Douglas and I, we're going to be talking about Over Your Dead Body, which was also another film from South by Southwest. And we're also going to talk about Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, on a bonus episode. So that will be a shorter version, but you can check that out if you look for Meet Me at the Movies on YouTube. Douglas, any final thoughts or comments you want to make sure you share before we wrap today?
Just that if there was any film that I talked about that interested you, all the reviews on Elements of Madness for the festival are spoiler-free, so you can learn about them without having to worry about major issues. I encourage you that if you ever feel like there's nothing to see at the theater, I promise you there's something available for you. Just got to look a little bit beyond the major releases because there's some really good original storytelling out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell people it doesn't matter what your interest, where your interests are, you can find something that will appeal to you. Just take the time, take the effort, and it'll be there, and you'll be amazed at the stories that are told that will speak to you. Appreciate everybody who spends time with us right here on Meet Me at the Movies, and especially Douglas Davidson, as always, for his expertise, for his humor, and just for his brilliant knowledge of life. And so, Sir Douglas Davidson, thank you, man. And elementsofmadness.com is where you can find his work and his incredible team as well. For all of those out there, if you want to send us an email, send us that non-viewer mail, info at c19.tv, info at c19.tv, and you can check out all the slate of programming at c19.tv as well. Till next time, for all of us here, the cast and crew, I'm Noel T. Manning II. For Douglas and for everybody, that is a wrap.
Bad ones, many films to view till we meet again.